we look at the outside linebacker position for the Crimson Tide, there are, 4 freshmen at that spot here. And while all 4 guys are talented, all 4 guys are gifted, all 4 guys have a lot to bring to the table. As I mentioned before the break, there is one guy in this group of 4 that I believe will have the biggest impact right out of the gate, will have the biggest impact year one, day one, because of his speed, because of his ability to convert speed to power, because of his instincts, but also his uncanny ability to affect the quarterback and not allow himself to be blocked out of the play. And that being one William Anderson, the 5-star out of Dutchtown High School in Georgia. And for Anderson, it's interesting because now remember we had a caller on Monday's show that compared him to Terrell Lewis. And though there's some similarities between both guys, to me, when I watch Will, I see more of Tim Williams than Terrell Lewis. The body structure tells it from the get-go. Anderson at 6'3", 233 pounds. Tim Williams, when he played, he was about 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", 240. Now, where, Will is concerned, and Drew Sanders is going to be good. Quandarius Robinson is going to be good. Chris Broswell is going to be good. It's going to be fun seeing all, 4 guys. But when I look at Will, especially when you watch this young man's tape here in his film, where he stands out on screen, he has a way of timing the actual snap count. His explosion off the ball, at the moment that ball is snapped, he's already got a foot toward the quarterback. Like, he's already got inches toward getting after the quarterback or whomever has the football on this particular play. He's got long arms, long hands, so he's able to dislodge or disengage himself from blocks and meet in the backfield to create a tackle for loss, to create a sack, to create a fumble, a turnover, to create, a negative play. And when I look at this upcoming season, this is something that Nick Saban wants to have on the field. Where can I find, or do we have that speedy, powerful, elusive edge rusher that we can have as that hybrid defensive end, outside linebacker? We can walk this particular player down on the line of scrimmage and just say, your job, young man, you see that quarterback, you see that running back, you see the football, go after it, go attack it, go get the football. Because I felt like, Alabama this past year, it didn't have enough guys that had that type of mentality. Christian Barmore had that mentality, absolutely. With each passing week, Christian Harris gained that mentality. You had a couple of guys, 1 or 2 guys, 3 guys at the most, that had that mentality of see ball, get ball. That's the ball. I'm a pit bull. That's the scrap of meat. I'm going after this football. I don't care who's in my way. I'm knocking them over. I'm getting after the quarterback if he's got it. I'm getting after the running back if he's got it. I'm even getting after an offensive lineman if they so happen to have the football in their hands. So, Alabama did not have enough of those guys this past year. And when you look at a Will Anderson, he presents that opportunity. And a game that I can see him really stepping out and doing these types of things, you look at the Week 3 matchup against Georgia. Week 3 at Bryant-Denny against the Bulldogs, Kirby Smart and Scott Cochran. That will be a very intriguing game for the breakout party, the emergence, the introduction, as I should say, of William Anderson. And the reason why I say Georgia is you're bringing in Jamie Newman, and Jamie Newman's a talented quarterback, the transfer from Wake Forest. The only legitimate defense he played last year was Clemson, and he didn't look all that great against Clemson. He looked great against other programs in the ACC, but when you don't look particularly good against the one team that has a dynamic defense, that's kind of a question mark. That's kind of a struggle thing, if you will. That's a tough pill to swallow, because now you're in the SEC. and you're going to play against dominant defense after fierce defense after marquee defense every single week. And off the bat, early on, you're facing Alabama. So Jamie Newman is going to have a front line that lost two great talents to the NFL. You lost Isaiah Wilson from the offensive line, and you lost Andrew Thomas, who got drafted number 4 overall to the New York Giants. So, and then we're also with a new offensive coordinator, with Newman being more so of a dual threat athletic guy. Watch for Georgia to kind of roll Newman out of the pocket quite a bit next season. Roll him out of the pocket, try to get him on the edge, so to speak. So if they decide to do this becomes huge for Will Anderson. Here's why. If you roll Jamie Newman out of the pocket, right? This gives Anderson the opportunity to see the gap, right? To see the gap. He already knows there's going to be a gap right there, but rolling Newman out of the pocket, this gives Anderson the opportunity to see the gap open, shoot in there, and corral Jamie Newman. Corral and force him to make a decision. I can't break the pocket, because if I break it, here comes this 5-star with big speed that's going to run me down, get me from behind. I'm not going to be able to have a big play on this. Or if I choose to stay in the pocket, he's going to have that speed to come up there, corral me. I'm going to get sacked either way. Or in a third aspect, if he comes through and he's able to keep me in the pocket to where I can't break anything, then here comes the rest of the Alabama team submerging in on me. So if Jamie Newman, if Georgia chooses to roll him outside the pocket quite a couple of times in week 3 against Alabama, look for Will Anderson to find the opening, find the gap, as you're seeing it on screen as he's able to do this so well. Find the opening, find the gap, shoot through there, and one of 3 things is going to happen. It's either going to be Newman's going to try to break containment. He's not going to be able to do it. Anderson tracks him down for no gain or a lost yardage play. Or it's either Anderson's going to break through. Jamie Newman cannot escape the pocket at all. Anderson gets a sack there. Or part 3, he breaks through and Anderson does enough to where he's got Newman flustered, frustrated, and the rest of the Alabama team converges in and they get the play. So, Sal Sunseri in that matchup week 3 is going to have a lot of things dialed up to mess with the timing of the offensive line, mess with the timing of Will Anderson, mess with the offensive line, mess with the timing, of Jamie Newman. And, one of the guys that he's going to have on that field or could potentially have on that field to do that, is Anderson using his speed, using his quickness, using his length, using his size to not get blocked out of the play, to shoot the gap, fly in there, and create havoc. And the reason why I brought up the Georgia game for Will Anderson is because it's always been the matchup with Georgia. Since in the Nick Saban era, it's always been the Georgia matchup where we have seen freshmen take center stage and introduce themselves to the college football world. And it started off in 2008 where you had Julio Jones did this from an offensive perspective in the blackout game, 41-30. Julio went off, catching passes on that Georgia secondary. And in 2012, if you remember, it was Amari Cooper and TJ Yeldon. Coop went off in the SEC title game, mossing one Bakari Rambo. And then he had the big touchdown catch from A.J. McCarron to get the 32-28 win. TJ Yeldon had over 100 yards rushing in that matchup. And then 2015, you had the quartet of Calvin Ridley, a 100-yard game. Minka Fitzpatrick, who blocked the punt from Colin Barber, took it for a touchdown. Ronnie Harrison, who had a pick in that game. And then Deron Payne, who played well in the middle. 2017, a national championship season, the 2018 title game. Tua Tagovailoa, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs III, Devonta Smith, all those guys had a serious impact, in that matchup. And in 2018, the SEC title game, Jalen Waddle, 4 catches for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. So you're seeing against Georgia where the freshmen step up. The freshmen make their mark. It's always kind of been against Georgia where those Alabama, young cats get out there and do their thing on the field. And I feel like with this young man, William Anderson, being from the state of Georgia, with his playmaking ability, with his instincts, intelligence, size, motor, quickness, sacking ability, you get him out there on the field week 3, you get him to shoot through a moving pocket, and you have him wreak havoc on Jamie Newman. It could be something very exciting. It could be something very special to see. Not saying that Drew Sanders, not saying Quandarius Robinson or Chris Broswell will not have production. I'm just saying Will Anderson, to me, would be the guy as a freshman that can have just a massive impact and it can start week 3 of the season. But as always, Tide fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, and coverage on your favorite program. You do this by downloading the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You can get the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For the audio options, if you got iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Overcast.fm, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, we've got you covered. Good and gracious Lord sees fit, folks. I'll be back on Friday continuing the conversation that is Bama football. But until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands. Children, do those things legitimately to not be bored. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, spit in my own words. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.